Hello again and welcome back to Almost Home. Today we are out in a beautiful July day up here to start digging our solar. So what do I mean by that? Well, we have chosen to actually put the solar on poles. So these are engineered poles that are built for heavy duty snow and wind load, and they, rather than put them on the roof over here on the house, as you can see I'm pointing south, and we'd have quite a bit of shade in the winter time. So instead of doing that, what we're going to do instead is to put the solar panels here and put them on poles that were placed in the grounds in a very deep footings, and we're going to have an array that faces south, southeast, and southwest to get the different parts of the sun. Of course, they'll get the overlapping part of the sun, all three of them at the same time. So I've been studying this technology for a while, and we've had quite a bit of experience, and so we're going to have different charge controllers that are based on the different poles. So here's one that's already dug, but I need to dig it out some more. Right here. This one here has, this, by the way, these need to be about, I think it's 3.5, 4 feet deep. We're about there on this one. There's another one that's going to go in right here as well. And that will go down to the bedrock area, about 3.5 feet. And then another one up here. Let me walk around. The other one is right here where that green spot is. You see that on the ground? So that's the third area. So that's what I'm going to do today. And I'm going to go dig it with this beautiful backhoe right here. That has some nice teeth on the back. You'd like to see that? These are the beautiful teeth that I just replaced. And onto this 310J. So, but before you start a machine, my dad, let me tell you a little bit of a story. Let me get that up here. My dad, I grew up on the farm in North Dakota, and as kids, we worked on lots of machinery. My dad would just instruct in us, well, he'd instruct, but he would instill in us that you don't start a piece of machinery without checking the oil, especially for a big piece of machinery that's in the dirt all day long. And that especially goes with a backhoe. So it looks like the engine oil is perfect. Even though you would think that it's perfect, it's always great to check it. The other thing I do is I check the coolant level. You can see it's above min cold, and every once in a while I go through the air filter on this machine as well. This machine is very strong and very capable, and in order to keep it in that operating condition, you really have to take care of it. So we try. And so here we go. I'm gonna step in and let this thing warm up. That's the other thing that my dad told me to do, is to always warm up a tractor. Even if it's in the middle of summer, you always have to let it warm up. So we're gonna do that for a couple minutes. I'm gonna go back out. Here's our snowcat that I need to do a little bit of work on this summer. With some hydraulic, you can see that it's got a little bit of a hydraulic leak going on there. Luckily, this cab tilts forward. And let's see, I got the fuel tank up here. That's another story because they don't deliver fuel. So I have to shuttle gas and diesel up here. There's my cement mixer ready to go. And then of course our well, and then a bunch of wood that I picked up at an auction. Not sure if it was such a great deal, but I picked it up nonetheless because I think we'll be using it later on for the greenhouse. Okay, so let me just take you over here while the tractor's warming up. So this is a corner right here. You see the other corner right over here, and the other corner is right there, and then that one is right there. Okay, we're facing east, and this is where the basically it's a 50 by 80. That's with the side shed. 40 by 80 is the building, and tomorrow we're going to have rock that is going to show up here. We're going to put 1.5 inch rock as the base down on this. We leveled this with a laser, my son and I, Keenan, to be we're about within 1 inch or so. There's some divots here and there. Maybe I'll straighten that out a little bit, but the rest we're going to fill in with about 4 to 6 inches of rock, and then 3/4 minus on top, and then we'll pour the cement on top of that. All right, so this has been quite the exercise because we've had to do a lot of excavating, because you have to have room for the building, like this one right here, which is a corner, and we need another 10 to 12 feet on the side so that we can access the side of the building. So this is what you're seeing down the side. We'll have plenty of room. You see a white pipe stick up. That's where we have kind of a French drain on the back side that goes around the property, or around this site, and then I excavated this out, and so we have plenty of room as we enter into the shop. So we have 2 double doors on this end, and then the main entrance will be on the north side with an overhang. Okay, let's get in the tractor and see what we can do. Okay, here we are again. Here's what we have left in the hole. I think I should probably get that material out a little bit, and then I'm going to call it good. Right there, here's what we've taken out. Alright, so let's go take it just a little bit more out, and then I'll be happy. Okay. Hold the GoPro and run the backhoe at the same time. Sorry about that. Then we just have to curl it here, get some material at the end. Here we go. Lift up, go over here, release it. Get one more scoop. You can tell where you got a lot of rock here. That should be good. Oh, I let some in though. That's not good. One more scoop. It's always one more scoop. One more. Okay, here's our other hole. This is looking really good. Nice and deep, but just have to get a little bit more out of the bottom. Nice and straight wall on this side. Actually, I think that's pretty good. Just so somebody doesn't fall into here. Let me carve a little bit out of that, and we'll call that good. I think that looks really good. Oh, amazing with a backhoe what you can do. Okay, this is confession time. In any construction project, I'm trying to make it better, folks. There is a series of events that make you think, oh man, if I only would have done this, I wouldn't have broken this. Well, there was a tree right here that I took out, and it was a big tree. And actually there were 3 trees. And the first 2 went just fine. The third tree, I was looking to have it fall. By the way, guess which tree it was? This one. The third tree, I was looking to have it fall that way, but it instead fell right this direction, and you can see what happened. That it took out my riser. Thank goodness the tank is fine, but it cracked my riser in my brand new septic system. Now this is a plastic PVC tank that is built like a tank. No pun intended, actually, but the riser's not so much. So I'm glad that it only, this is a pretty easy fix. I just have to take the cover off, put the new riser on, put the cover back on, and we should be golden. Anyway, stay tuned. All right, here we are with the new ring. Gotta make sure it's not dirty. It's got a gasket in the bottom. I think we're good to go. Usually they tell you that you're supposed to have a sheet of silicone, but this is a septic tank. I'm sure there's somebody that's going to correct me. Line up the hose. I don't have any silicone with me. Come on. A little bit more. There we go. Click is good. I think it's in. All right. I'll take it. Now we got to put these back in. Let's see if I can put these in without dropping them. All right. Dropping the wrench back in. I should say the ratchet. Now if I had the right extension, I could use my drill impact driver just to put them in lickety split, but I don't have that. So we're going to put in 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. This is part of the challenge about building in the middle of nowhere. If you don't have the right tools with you, you're kind of out of luck until you go to town and get the right tools. There we go. There we are. Not too tight. One across from the other, right there. dad also taught me that you never tighten things until you're done with all their other bolts. So that's a good motto to live by, because you can over tighten one end and not get the others. So I'm trying to remember that, especially for my kids, to remind them what they should be doing. I think this is going to be a really good time together for all, for everyone to learn, including myself, about off-grid living. And okay, now we can finally tighten all the bolts, just like, and very carefully, without dropping anything in. And we're good. Okay, so now let me show you what that's like. So we got 4 bolts right there, and we're ready to put the cover on, which is still good. Was not crushed, surprisingly. Just a couple spiders in there, not too bad. All right, this goes on a special way, just like so. We can put our screws on top and work those in, and we're good as gold. It's so peaceful up here. So peaceful. As you can see, oops, sorry. As you can see, we live in a very protective cove of trees, which is going to be super nice. We have had a weather station up here since last fall, and the highest wind gust recorded on the weather station is about 9 or 10, maybe 11 miles an hour. And so this is well protected in the trees here. We're not on the slope, so that is good. The only thing I'm not sure, and we'll just have to see how the winter goes, is how the sun shines in the winter time. I've been up here several times in the winter, but just to make sure that we have enough sun for the solar. Otherwise, we're going to have to put on the generator to charge the batteries, which is probably inevitable. Oops, this didn't want to go in right. Huh. Well, we'll back that one out. 3 out of 4 ain't bad. This is going to have to be taken off anyway. Okay. So now that I've bored you to death how to repair a septic riser, hopefully this never happens to you. If it does, putting in a new riser, and by the way, putting on, we decided to go with a poly tank because the concrete tanks were so hard. Oh, come on. What's the problem here? You can imagine bringing up a multi-1,000-pound concrete tank into the middle of nowhere. Me neither. So we decided to do some research on poly tanks, and I think they're able to do just as good a job or better because the concrete in time, my septic guy was telling me this, that in time that the chemical that's in the sewer will actually react with the cement and actually break down the cement over time. It was a certain chemical, but I can't remember which one. Okay, we're done. Yay! But with a PVC tank, you don't have that problem. All right.